snowing like crazy on the Appalachian Trail, go to Mellow Mushroom. Right? Okay, let me fill you in on what happened after Mount Collins Shelter and how we ended up in Gatlinburg. Right now I'm talking to you from 6 days in the future in video time. In real life, we just got to Hot Springs and are taking a break for a zero with Kelly. She came into town for a couple of days and has a VRBO house here in Hot Springs, so enjoying a day in front of the fire with the wife and the dog. But let's go back to Mount Collins Shelter. Like I think I said in the video that you just saw yesterday or the day before, I have a tendency to forget and let my phone fall out at night and fall asleep. So my phone fell out of my sleeping bag or my quilt during the night. And if you don't know, phone in 20-degree weather pretty much drains batteries. So my battery on my phone, which is also my camera, was completely dead, so I wasn't able to get any footage at all until we got down into Gatlinburg. So here's what happened. We showed up that night. A nice young man named William was in the shelter, just as a local, and was just up there doing it overnight. A little bit later in the night, his father came and joined him. So there ended up being me, TBA, T-Rex, Quicksand, William and his dad, all in the shelter. Kelly had texted me earlier that there was a winter storm warning. It was going to drop 6 inches of snow, and then the next night's temperatures, I believe, were going to be wind chills way below zero. All of that we probably could have handled. We had another, for those that don't know the area, we had another probably 3 days of hiking to get out of the Smokies, and Newfound Gap is the only way really in or out until you get to the extremes of the park, at least this time of year. All the other roads are closed for the winter. So we talked about it and weren't exactly sure whether we were going to leave or not, and then we started looking at food supplies and we realized that we were going to be, probably had enough. We were pretty low on food. And then in the interim, we talked to Trent and William, and they both had cars at Newfound Gap. And by the time we got to Newfound Gap, which is about 5 miles away from the shelter, the road was snow covered and closed. But since they had vehicles up there, they were able to leave. So that was probably the only opportunity to leave the Smokies, because everybody else was already down the mountain and the road was closed. Since Quicksand needed to get to town anyway, because his wife was going to be waiting for him, we decided we would join him and go down and take a look at Gatlinburg, thinking we would only go down for that night. Unfortunately, for those that are following along behind, the road closes to Gatlinburg, Newfound Gap Road. Apparently it takes a while to get it back open again. So we got down to Gatlinburg on, I believe it was Thursday, and then thought we'd come right back up the next day after a resupply and get back at it. Fortunately, the road didn't close until the day after that, so we ended up with a zero that we weren't expecting in Gatlinburg. Didn't shoot a lot of footage in Gatlinburg because it was just kind of a tourist trap town. I mean, a cool town. We had Mellow Mushroom that made me happy. But after you're there a little bit, you're ready to leave. So not a lot of footage in Gatlinburg because it's just not really what I take pictures of, towns. But got a couple of shots that are on this one, and then tomorrow we'll pick back up with us returning to Newfound Gap and actually seeing the Smokies with views and sunlight. A little bit about that. I was kind of rewatching the Smokies, and the first half of the Smokies after seeing Shuck Stack was just gray. We saw very little. For myself, and I know other people disagree, the Smokies were a little more difficult than I thought. The ups and downs and the trail condition itself was just a little more difficult than I expected. I mean, very doable. I did it, but wasn't really what I expected. What you're going to see over the next couple of days of video was when by taking the time off and going down to Gatlinburg, coming back up with views, Smokies are absolutely beautiful. The next couple of days of video, I just had to quit taking video of pretty views because I was basically in pretty views for 8 to 10 hours every single day on our way back down out to Hot Springs. So if you're still watching, take a look the next couple of days. You might enjoy the views. So we're at the Knock in Gatlinburg, the little outfitter store here, and now it's my mecca. I love this place just for this reason. For those that don't know, I'm a vegetarian. I'm not vegan, I'm a vegetarian, but they have vegan jerky, my favorite stuff. Hallelujah.